The 9 essential Star Wars Rebels episodes to watch to understand Ahsoka. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. 9. Fire Across the Galaxy. Skipping ahead to the finale of Season 1, Fire Across the Galaxy features the Ghost Crew working together as a cohesive team to take down the Grand Inquisitor, who also featured in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ezra has come a long way in this episode as a Jedi and is able to help Kanan in his fight against the Grand Inquisitor. Sabine also showcases her artistic flair for explosions by painting a Trojan horse TIE fighter that disables an entire Star Destroyer. But most importantly, the final moments of the episode show Ahsoka Tano's first meeting with the Ghost Crew. 8. Twilight of the Apprentice, Part 1. The two-part finale to Season 2 contains some of the most memorable moments the series has to offer. In the episode, Ezra, Kanan, and Ahsoka all travel to a Sith temple on Malachor. Kanan and Ahsoka fend off several Inquisitors who are searching for the secret of the temple on Vader's behalf. Meanwhile, Ezra encounters a wandering and lost Maul. Ezra and Maul's meeting changed the course of Ezra's journey, and the repercussions of Ezra's decisions in this episode will likely come back to haunt him and Ahsoka. 7. Twilight of the Apprentice, Part 2. Twilight of the Apprentice, Part 2 picks up where the first part left off as the group heads closer to the Sith Temple. Here, Maul betrays them and blinds Kanan. Just as Ezra discovers the true power of the Sith Temple, Darth Vader arrives. Ahsoka faces off against Vader for the first time since they last saw each other in the Clone Wars Season 7. In Ahsoka, she likely has heard of how Anakin turned to the light side before he died. But in this episode, Ahsoka grapples with the dark figure her master has become, which is something she's still mulling over in the Ahsoka series. 6. Steps into Shadow, Part 1. There's around a 6-month gap of time between Season 2 and Season 3, and a lot has changed in that time. Not only did Ezra get a haircut, but he has also been flirting with the dark side of the Force. In the episode, Kanan discovers that Ezra has been using a Sith holocron he took from the temple on Malachor. Of course, he eventually gives up the holocron and renounces the dark side. But the taste of power it gave him continues to entice him throughout the rest of Rebels and may have been a foreshadowing of what he will be like in Ahsoka. 5. Hera's Heroes. Hera's Heroes gives a lot of details on Hera's past on Ryloth. Ezra and Hera attempt to sneak back into Hera's old home to steal an important family heirloom of Hera's, but are instead caught by Grand Admiral Thrawn himself. This episode is notable since it is the first time the Ghost Crew meets Thrawn in person. And while Thrawn ends up letting them escape, the group begins to realize how brilliant of an enemy Thrawn is. The episode also shows the beginning of Hera and Thrawn's personal rivalry against one another, a rivalry that is carried into the Ahsoka series. 4. Trials of the Darksaber. Trials of the Darksaber is a must-see episode for enthusiasts of The Mandalorian, but it also shows some of Sabine Wren's best character development. Previously, Sabine reclaimed the Darksaber from Maul, although she was hesitant to use it at first. Under Kanan's guidance, Sabine trains to wield the Darksaber and learns more about how lightsabers work. She uses much of what she learned from him in her duel with Shin Hati in Ahsoka Episode 1 but ultimately loses her battle due to being out of practice. Still, this episode helped show when Sabine first began to train with a lightsaber. 3. Jedi Knight. Easily one of the saddest episodes of the series, Jedi Knight holds special meaning for every member of the Ghost Crew. In one particular scene, Kanan Jarrus kneels and cuts off his ponytail. In Ahsoka Episode 2, Sabine mimics this exact scene when she cuts her hair before leaving to join Ahsoka. Kanan's sacrifice at the end of this episode profoundly changed each member of the Ghost Crew, and his actions also inspired Ezra's sacrifice at the end of Rebels. 2. A World Between Worlds. A World Between Worlds changed the franchise forever, as it introduced the idea of time traveling to Star Wars. While exploring the ruins of an ancient Jedi temple on Lothal, Ezra finds a gateway to the world between worlds. While there, he is able to save Ahsoka from her duel against Vader back in Rebels Season 2. Their reunion is one of the most important scenes for the Ahsoka series since Ahsoka promises to find Ezra once more after they both return to the timeline. This promise leads directly into Ahsoka's quest to find Thrawn and Ezra. 1. Family Reunion and Farewell. The final episode of Star Wars Rebels neatly ties up the Ghost Crew's journey, only for Ahsoka to reopen it. In order to save Lot Hal, Ezra Bridger sacrifices himself by transporting himself and Thrawn far away. Some of Ezra's final words to Sabine before leaving were that he was counting on her, though he failed to explain for what. Now, Sabine sets off with Ahsoka to find Ezra and bring him back in Ahsoka, which will finally answer the question of what happened to him at the end of Star Wars Rebels. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.